Good day and welcome once again to the latest edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews online. Thank you as always for taking the time to watch my videos, which hopefully you do find informative. And when you go to your local bookstore, you will seriously consider purchasing the book that I'm about to review. And the book this time out is Hell and Back by Craig Johnson. This is published by Viking and it retails for $37.99. This is book 18 of the WALT Longmire series, and I'm almost ashamed to admit that it's the first book that I've read in the series. I was not aware of this character, Walt Longmire, who is a sheriff. And certainly I will be thinking about looking into any of the previous books, because if they're as interesting and thrilling as this one, well, gee. Add this person to your reading list, because the author really can write a book of epic proportions. This book is a little out there. It is almost a combination of a psychological thriller and the Twilight Zone. It's almost as if you will expect Rod Serling to show up at any moment, in his tone of voice and saying, "For your inspection." This book here is definitely one for the ages. Walt Longmire, he suddenly wakes up in the middle of a snow-filled street. His sheepskin jacket is almost stuck to the ground, and he finds two silver dollars in his lap. They are old silver dollars, and he has no idea where he is. He has no idea who he is or how he got there. He is also covered in blood. So he gets up and he goes to a local little cafe restaurant, and it's just about time to close, because actually it's New Year's Eve. And there's a lady there behind the desk. Her name is Martha, and she says, "What's your name?" And he says, "I don't really know." And he takes his hat off, and she sees in the brim of his hat is his name, Walt Longmire. She says, "I think your name is Walt Longmire." Well, he has no idea how he is or where he is. So he happens to be in Fort Pratt, Montana. And he, like I said, he has no idea how he got there, but it's apparent that he was hit by a snowplow and left almost for dead in the middle of the road. So then a stranger walks into the bar, a big, tall, hulking man who sits and observes him. And now Martha does not act as if she sees a man, and she doesn't. He's like a phantom that comes and says a few things to Walt, then disappears. And that's the creepy undertone of this book. As suddenly Walt Longmire is transported back to 1896 at the site of a horrific accident where 35 Native American children died in a fire at the Fort Pratt Industrial Indian Boarding School. And so it's almost like he's going back in time. Can he stop it? Well, he can't stop it because it's happened. But he sort of time travels between then and current day. And you get the creepy vibes of just what is happening. Is it in his mind? Is it really happening? Or what is going on? He also meets the town sheriff. The town really doesn't have a sheriff. So he comes from outside the area, and he meets Walt Longmire, and he says, "Do you have a gun?" And Walt doesn't think he does, but he reaches behind him into his holster, and there's a gun. So he takes his gun, because there are no guns allowed in Fort Pratt, Montana. So they meet several times, and each time he meets him, Walt Longmire suddenly has a gun again. So you could say, if you've seen the movie Groundhog Day, where the same day gets repeated in the same situations, you could say there is a touch of the movie Groundhog Day also thrown in for good measure, because it's like Walt Longmire meets the same people who weren't aware that he met them before. In fact, all the people in this town seem familiar to him, as though he has encountered them before, though they seem to be complete strangers. Are they strangers? Are they people he's conjured up from his past? or there's just so many questions, and that is what makes the book so unique, that you really don't know what's happening, why it's happening, or how he's going to get out of this mess, because he's there and he's going back to 1896 again, present day. And so it really is a book that you have to keep reading. I started it one morning and I almost finished it before bedtime, and so I had to, first thing the next morning, I had to finish it because I wanted to know how the story concluded. The ending is really interesting and inventive as well too, as we find out. So if you're looking for a different kind of book, and you like time travel, you like the movie Groundhog Day where things are repeated, and especially Walt Longmire is quite an interesting character, and the people he meets in the book are equally as interesting. So if you're looking for a book that is really different, Hell and Back is, can I say, a hell of a good book. So if you go to your local bookstore, please look at it or check it out. And hopefully if you do read it, you'll let me know whether you do agree with my analysis of the book. So as always, I thank you for watching Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Bye for now.